You felt it all your life, that subtle gnawing sense that you're just different.
Not better, not worse, but distinctly alien to the world around you. You watch others engage in small talk, find comfort in their crowds.
And meanwhile, you feel like an observer, separated by an invisible glass wall. You mimic their behaviors to fit in, but inside there's an overwhelming sense of disconnection, a static hum you can't shake.
For years, you may have labeled this experience as anxiety, as depression, as some social flaw. But what if it's not a flaw at all? What if it's simply a different way of being? What you're experiencing is not a disorder.
It's an evolutionary divergence, a psychological awakening that most people will never encounter.
Carl Jung spent his life studying individuals whose minds couldn't simply conform to society's expectations. He called their path the individuation process, a journey toward becoming fully yourself. If you're here, you've likely started walking this path without knowing it. It's solitary and often painful, but it's the only road that leads to genuine self-realization.
By the end of this, you'll understand why your isolation isn't a flaw. It's evidence of something most people never develop. The first sign reveals itself in how you see yourself.
While most people live in pleasant delusion about their own goodness, he walks alone, burdened by the weight of truth. In the rain, reflections of the world mirror the illusions we all cling to. Most people convince themselves they are kind, moral, harmless.
When they act cruelly, they rationalize it. They had no choice.
They project their darker impulses onto external enemies, criminals, strangers.
You can't do that. You are brutally aware of your own capacity for evil. Jung said that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light.
This awareness makes you heavy, makes you serious.
While others float on the surface of good vibes and shallow optimism.
Think of the saint asked about his holiness, who replied that he simply kept.
The average person lives in a house with a well-kept lawn. You live in that basement.
You know what's hidden there, and that gives you a perspective others lack. When someone tells you they would never do something terrible,
You are dangerous not because you're violent, but because you're honest.
To be in the center is safety. To be on the edges is to invite danger. For you, something feels fundamentally wrong about being at the center.
The moment a trend consumes the world,
When everyone rallies behind a political narrative, a social movement, your stomach churns. You see the strings, the manipulation, the way people trade their sovereignty for safety. This manifests as a series of departures throughout your life.
You've walked away from toxic friendships, from ideologies demanding blind obedience. Every time you leave, it's not rebellion for its own sake. Recognize the danger of conformity. You're repelled by the collective because it demands sacrifice of your individuality.
Carl Jung spent his life studying individuals whose minds couldn't simply conform to society's expectations. He called their path the individuation process, a journey toward becoming fully yourself. If you're here, you've likely started walking this path without knowing it. This perception isolates you. It makes you feel like a ghost watching the living from outside.
The third sign reveals itself as an uncanny ability to recognize patterns.
This isn't magic. It's intuition of the unconscious mind, processing information too quickly for consciousness to track.
Intuition gives you the ability to see not just where things are, but where they're going.
You sense when a business partner is untrustworthy before they've stolen a single dollar. For you, the present moment isn't just a snapshot. It's a seed containing the future unfolding.
It's like having X-ray vision in a world of people wearing lead masks.
Because you can already see the end of situations you often struggle to take the first step.
You suffer from what could be called the curse of the final fragment.
Jung suggested people with this kind of personality were often cast as shamans or prophets in ancient tribes.
They lived on the edges of society, feared and respected because they dealt with the unseen, with the future. In today's world, there is no village edge, no quiet fringe. There's only the office, the internet, the city.
Whatever people operate on the sensation of what's in front of them, while you operate on the intuition of what lies behind the curtain. You're playing four-dimensional chess while they play checkers. The most difficult part is trying to explain it. Intuition doesn't have clear language. It's a flash, a knowing.
When you try to put it into words, you often sound insane until you're proven right.
The fourth sign is your capacity for holding what Jung called the tension of opposites.
Jung believed the goal of human development was not perfection, but completeness. You can exist in chaos while maintaining a core of stillness.
This paradox confuses others. They want to put you in a box. When a fake person meets you, your authenticity exposes their mask.
You don't need to do anything to unsettle people. You just need to be.
This ability to hold opposites grants you a kind of nuanced understanding that is nearly extinct. In a world where people constantly take sides shouting in tribal wars, you stand in the middle.
You recognize brilliance in the leader, but also the narcissism. Small talk doesn't just bore you, it physically pains you. Your brain feels suffocated by a thick layer of cotton.
You want to know what someone truly fears. You want to dive into what keeps them awake at night.
Jung observed that the individuating person often sheds relationships as they evolve, not because they are unloving, but because their vibration has changed. You broadcast on a shortwave frequency only a few rare receivers can pick up.
Just relax, think positive, it will pass, find your happy place. The sixth sign often drives people to therapy, and unless the therapist is truly skilled, they'll likely make it worse. Though it may feel like that, what you're experiencing is spiritual malnutrition. But people are easily satisfied with a life built on superficial comforts, a steady job, a spouse, a house, a vacation every year. Yours is bottomless.
It's not that you find it boring. You find it terrifyingly empty.
Life lacks a transcendent purpose, a deep and burning why. You begin to wither.
You physically lose energy. You feel lethargic, disconnected. You might even get sick. You are the one who quits the high-paying job with no backup plan because your soul was rotting. This compass guides you toward the one thing that will ever satisfy you, the creation of your own myth. That hunger is your compass guiding you toward the one thing that will ever satisfy your own myth. The next time you feel the sting of isolation, remember that your pain has purpose. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your inability to conform is not failure. You are becoming something most people will never understand, and that is exactly as it should be.
The path of individuation is not about being better than others. It's about being true to yourself. Even when it costs you everything. Even when no one understands. The only person you have to live with completely is yourself, and the only life worth living is one that is genuinely yours.